Stephen Horrell is a senior fellow at the Centre for European Policy Analysis, and he joins us from Annapolis in the US state of Maryland. Welcome, Stephen. So we're hearing there from the Estonian Foreign Minister saying that this is a new level of provocation, that Russia is testing NATO. Russia's Defence Ministry has just denied that its fighter jets illegally entered Estonian airspace, saying it was a scheduled flight. But of course, this comes after those incursions into Polish airspace, into Romanian. What is Russia doing here?
I think exactly as Minister Sakna said, Russia is pushing the envelope, and they are seeing how far they can go without getting a response from the West, from the NATO alliance. And part of that is to find a division, find a place to put a wedge. Some countries may want to respond, others may want to be more reticent. And that's why the NATO Article 4 consultations after both the violation in Poland and in Estonia are important to get that united front.
And so what options does NATO have here to respond without escalating into direct confrontation?
And of course, NATO doesn't want to escalate, but they do need to defend the NATO nations, and they need to support Ukraine in their battle against these invading forces. And that's part of the reason that Russia, President Putin, are doing this with the European coalition of the willing leaning into providing security guarantees for Ukraine in the event of a ceasefire and then peace talks. So after the Poland incursion, the NATO met with Article 4 consultations, and they established this new Eastern Sentry operation. Secretary General Rutte and SACEUR General Grinkovich briefed on it. They're increasing the air defense, the land, air, and sea posture along the entire eastern flank of NATO. Will they increase that? Will they stay the course with that Eastern Sentry operation that's just begun? I don't know, but the Article 4 consultations taking place is the important issue.
And you mentioned, this is Moscow pushing the boundaries, but does this also expose vulnerability of these countries that are sitting right next to Russia, and also vulnerability of NATO?
So I think it does. These countries that share a border with NATO, and if you look at the Black Sea, Turkey with the maritime border with Russia, they're well aware of the provocative nature of Russia, and the fact that there have been many statements over the years from 2014 to 2022, that Ukraine is not an issue that Moscow would stop at Ukraine if they were successful there. So the threat is real. Russia has considered themselves in confrontation with NATO since before 2014 and the illegal invasion of Crimea. Not full-scale force on force, but in the information domain and in cyber. We should take them at their word that they think they're in a confrontation with the West now.
And so for those states like Poland and Estonia, I mean, this does really confirm those fears that they have of a real escalation here.
I think it does. So again, there's and that is one objective of Russia's, these maybe sub-threshold rather than gray zone or hybrid. They're seeking to do these provocations, but stay below the threshold of a full response. And the outcome that Moscow desires is division. And whether that's division between the European and the North American allies, or from the Eastern new NATO nations it's sometimes referred to, and the non-frontline NATO allies, that's the outcome they're seeking, but are not yet getting.
Stephen Horrell, Senior Fellow at the Centre for European Policy Analysis. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.